This video is for the SEINT very beginner. This is for that person who may have received their starter kit, maybe it's one of the collections and the 3D brush and doesn't really know where to go from here. So what I usually suggest to my clients who buy a starter collection that comes with a 3D brush is that I also usually suggest that you get the smudge brush, which is a really great application brush because the 3D brush is a great application brush too, but it's a little big and bulky. It's great for blending. It's one of my favorite brushes for blending, but for applying, you might want to have something smaller, or you can just use your fingers. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to do a finger application so that if you don't have this brush, you can get started right away. So when you get your palette at home and your colors, they don't come set up like this. You have to slide them in. And so I suggest sliding them in this order: contour, brightening highlight, main highlight. So notice how the brightening one is a little bit lighter, and then your lip and cheek. And that's the order in which I like to put them on. And that way it's just a little easier so you can follow along. Okay, so I'm going to start with my contour, and I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to dip it in, and I'm going to start applying by putting little lines or dots, doesn't really matter, where it belongs. So where does the contour belong? It belongs like a little rainbow, just a little bit below your hairline. It belongs right kind of hugging those cheekbones. So just to create some shade underneath the cheekbone. Notice how even right away that really makes my cheekbones pop. It also belongs on the jawline. And for some people, it can belong right here on the outside of the nose. See how I'm doing these lines, not down the middle, but just down the outside of the bridge of the nose. And this is gonna help make your nose look a little slimmer. This contour is also going to be great for filling in your eyebrows, lining your lips. There's a lot of uses for it, but for now, we're done. Okay, then I go into my brightening highlight. This is the one that's a little bit lighter than the one that suits your skin tone. So we put the one that's a little bit lighter in the T-zone. So that means down the middle of the nose, down towards the chin, and a little bit through the forehead. So if we just did a line from the middle of the forehead down, and then across. And when I say across, I mean under the eyes, okay? So just in this area right here, a little bit under the eyes. And now you're going really light. There's not a lot of makeup being used. I also like to put a little bit of this brightening highlight just kind of around the nose. Okay, so that's that. Now we're gonna go into the main highlight. This is the one that should match your skin tone the best. For me right now, it's a color called Sandy. And I'm just gonna start to put it through. I'll get in really close because see how it matches my skin tone so well that it's almost hard to see. I'm just putting it through the other parts of my face that currently don't have any makeup on it. So through the middle of the forehead, through the cheeks, through the jawline here, not the jaw, but just this bottom half of my face, the beard, if you will. And I'm just drawing little lines or dots because we're gonna connect the dots here in a second. Okay, all these smudges and smears are gonna connect. Now what you can do right now, and I'll do a little bit of it, is you can put your lip and cheek on. So we're just gonna put a little dab just above that contour line. You can do this in this step, or you can do it at the very end. And then of course it's gonna go on your lips too, but we'll do that at the end. So now is when you take the brush that it came with, and it has two ends. So I'm gonna use the pointy end, and I'm gonna get into the eye area and just kind of start to smudge that out. So all that makeup that I just applied with my finger, or again, if you don't like you getting your hands dirty, you could just do it with the smudge brush. We're just gonna get in there, okay? And maybe in that area around the nose, kind of in those hard to reach places for this pointier end. And then I'm gonna flip it, and I'm just gonna start blending. So I'm just doing little circles. And I'm starting with the lighter colors first, so I just wanna kind of get into where my highlight colors are. And notice how those lines that I put on my face are now all blending into one another. I don't know if you noticed how red my skin was before I started. I tend to have a red complexion, so this makeup is great for that. Okay, we're gonna get down the nose, and then we're gonna start to blend in that contour. So those dark lines that you put on your face that you thought wouldn't blend, watch. Okay, so especially here in the forehead, I'm just gonna blend little circles. And why we put a little bit on the forehead is just because it's a big area, so we just wanna create some like ombre almost, like dark to light. just to take some attention away from it. Don't forget the jaw, right? If you put a little bit right here on the jawline, you want to make sure that you're not leaving it there. No one wants to see that line, so blend that down. Okay, and then the cheekbones. So I'm just gonna do kind of upward strokes because we always want to lift the face, and then blending in that lip and cheek too. See how pretty that looks and how easy that is? So there is my whole face done in 5 minutes. Now I'm gonna go back in and get my lips. So I could use a lip brush for this, but I'm just gonna use my finger. We have a brush called a multitasker, which is nice for lips if you don't wanna use your fingers. And that's it. So now I would apply some mascara, and that is all you need. I'm adding a little bit of mascara now. Again, this is one of SEINT's mascaras. This is one's called the Lash Leather. It's my favorite. And can you believe that those 4 colors is really all you need to just have a nice, simple, clean, kind of no makeup look, but done in 5 minutes with cream makeup. That's all you need. So if you have a kit like this at home and you're not sure what to do with it, follow those instructions. If you don't have a kit like this and you want one, let me know.